All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rukar Kadash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and sincere Shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth and sincerity. And what I have here, it says it finally happened, Facebook being sued for billions. Now, I don't even need, as you've seen, I watched quite a bit of the clip, and when it says Facebook finally has been caught, 5.5 billion fine just happened. What this is really a governmental distraction. When I go into this, is not because of what really happened, but it's the fact that all these companies, your Facebooks, your Instagrams, your Twitters, and then moving on to Netflix, BET, and all these other things, they all link together. They all make a shit ton of money. And this is not the first time Facebook's been caught for anything. But that don't even matter because all these things are mass distractions. I'm going to start off with the first scripture, actually. This is Micah 2:1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand." Now, that is quite literal because these are all devices of iniquity. Because with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it's all the same shit. Because guess what? You talk to people and then you post all your information on a board for everybody to see. But then it's just nothing but mass confusion. Because guess what? It's a distraction to keep people out of the loop of what's going on around the world. They're so caught up in TikTok, YouTube, and all these other things to really even care. And that's where you really go into Isaiah 42:22, where it talks about they are all snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. This is a prison house. Why? Not because of where you're stuck at via Babylon or Russia or any other place. Because guess what? You got to pay to get out to go somewhere, or how it even pays just to go to the next state in this place. But the prison house is also this internet. Well, at least the the folly of the internet, which is your Facebook, your Twitter, your TikTok, and all this other stuff. Because guess what? It's it's what keeps people entertained. Like look at BET. A lot of people watch that. But then you got Netflix, you got a list of movies. But then you got Twitter, sorry, TikTok, where you could do all sorts of crazy shit, even out in public, and people just do it on the normal. Years ago, you wouldn't even see that on the normal, unless you was just doing it with some friends. You just dance around with some other stuff, yeah. But things have become weirder. People just either angry or they're distracted with their own shit, not even care what they do. I mean, look at the people. They can come out wearing whatever because they told they can do whatever. You got flames out. You got all these other shit going on. But no, not a lot of people in this world. I'm sorry, not a lot of people in this country really pays attention to what's going on outside this place. They always, you look at Jake. They always worried about the next shoes they gotta wear. Women worried about having the biggest butts, wearing the tightest spandexes. But then they're not worried about anything else. That is the governmental distraction, which going to govern, which means the mind and the control of the people, the government. So they are really throwing any type of thing out there because guess what? Esau knows that we like variety, even if they all do the same shit. So you take Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, they all do the same shit. You got Facebook, you got YouTube or certain different type of channels or Netflix, Hulu, and some other ones. They all have one particular thing in common. Because guess what? Your TV channels could just be all in one TV channel setting. Of course, you want to have a category to have for separate things. But then you got Hulu and Netflix, both the same shit. And they know because we as a people, as Israelites, we like to have different things, different flavors going on, even if it doesn't make sense to our own people. That's the crazy part. But Esau's constantly out here throwing this out here, throwing that out here to keep people distracted. Because once the fat starts getting low, Esau got something new coming in. Look at your phones. You got an iPhone and an Android. Both do the same shit. But they'll keep throwing iPhones out there every 6 months and it'll be the same thing as the last one. So this proves that people fall for the trap every time. And it's no wonder how people get caught up so much. Why they follow the next fad or inspiration that walks around. Movie comes out about game banging. Well, everybody wants to be a game banger now. Movie comes out about a woman being a bad bitch. Well, every woman wants to be a bad bitch now. So you see the problem here. And this is why I wanted to go into this, is because they talking about this company got sued for $5 billion. Well, guess what? This company and various other countries. I'm sorry, that threw me off a little bit. This company and various other companies made more than that. They made more than that. And it's just like, okay, so, but the problem still kicks in is, guess who still runs these companies? They'll set each other up just to sue another company, just to gain that money right back. So for this, it's just to keep people distracted, because World War III is definitely kicking in. The MOTB is definitely kicking in. It's already here technically, and you always wonder why the news, that your average news, don't tell you the actual truth about anything going on. You had to look for outside sources to get information. You know that's bad when you got to go to outside sources. So what more does it say about this country having these knockoff news reporters to tell anything that doesn't equate or be relevant or even tell the truth of what's going on? A lot of them get paid to even keep some of the information to themselves, because they don't want to keep people in the loop or make them aware of what's going on. And that's really Esau's job, because again, for us to bring this out and a lot of people not know about it, that goes to show you how powerful this truth really is. People call us crazy because guess what? Esau calls us crazy. Because why? Our people have fallen unto the snare and trap of Esau. Because when you and again, when I go back to Isaiah 42 and 22, it says snared in holes with an S, which means there's many holes. There's many philosophies, many doctrines, more ways to distract you, and that's where it becomes a problem. So this is, I'm gonna get John 8 and 44. It says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So even you got our people that's even follow unto these devils, because these devils do what they want to do. They had the power to do what they lust after. Our people technically do not. They are very, Esau gives them the so-called freedom, but they even very much limited on what much they can do. But the more of the wickedness, the greater it is for them to be able to do it. But when it comes to anything righteous, when it comes to us, that's very limited. we can't do what we wanted to do years ago. I'm talking about very much years ago, 1,000 years ago, because we was able to put people to death behind a lot of this stuff. But guess what? In this society, you can't. So, and then that's where you see the problem with what's going on is because it's too much wickedness. There's no correction. There's no order. There's an order in the society, but it's a wicked order. It's only a fundamental order, the police, your ambulance, and all this other stuff, law enforcement. But there's no righteous order. They call this place. This place calls themselves a God-fearing Christian society or country, but they don't follow any scriptures in the books. So how does that work? They're doing the complete opposite of what the book says. But do you know what? After they got a hold of Christianity, this is a so-called Christian society because it's all fucked up. Because this is the only society which doesn't make sense. How they say it's a God-fearing country, but they accept all these other gods in. But we had to go deeper into that. We had to go deeper than that because when you understand when they say God-fearing country, it means that when these other countries come over, even the ones that want to do business or the ones that just want to permanently be here, that's all that's saying is that we relinquish ourselves unto you, Esau, as our God. That's basically all that is. God-fearing country. They never specify which God, but Esau himself likes to play God. So it only makes sense that they would say God-fearing country because a lot of their people fear them. A lot of people around the world fear them, but then you got a lot of people rising up against this. And it's pretty much other countries, which is the funny part. Our own people are not even rising up against this, unless it's our people getting hit with the Black Lives Matter or some jig getting their foot on their neck. But what about the rest of the jigs that get shot by cops or some other shit? It's all over YouTube. I done seen plenty of clips, but you don't see nobody rioting for this shit. Not one. But they Esau choose a specific one to make money off of. You know, there's plenty of Jake that have been killed by cops. Even though it's been more of our people killing each other than the cops can kill us. So that goes to show you how much of a big difference this really is. How much of a control freak Esau really is. Because he has the control or the power to put a lot of our people down. But guess what? Due to our people following onto him, our people's wickedness increase even more. Which means they were willing to put down a Jake quick before the cop can. Because at that point, our people, when you give them a gun from Esau, guess what? They start to act or have the mentality of a wicked cop. I should say, because you got some cops out here that are pretty good. They just do what they want to. They don't bother nobody. They just trying to do their job and go home. But our people want to play the mind of a cop. They got the gun. They want to have the power. So that's where it becomes a problem. But there's no truth in Esau. He always lies, and our people follow right behind it. And all of this is just one big distraction. You have the control of you control the minds of the people. You control. I'm sorry, so like let me run that back. If you control the money and the minds of the people, you got everybody in a trap. They're right under your finger. Like look back a long time ago when you had kings. Well, you had control of the money. You had control of the laws. Our people asked for kings. Like, look at judges. Samuel even. So when it comes to setting up a king that has the power, the money, the laws, you got the people too. because guess what? That's who they look up to. It goes to show you that history does repeat itself. Because today it's the same thing. You got our people catering or loving unto the oppressor. Because guess what? He's got the money, the power, and the laws. And guess what? Our people subscribe unto that. This is Isaiah 14 and 21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. These are all key things because, number one, we're already preparing. That's why we're out here doing what we're doing. But again, it says that they do not rise nor possess the land. Because they have the earth, the entire earth, but they don't possess it. Because guess what? It's still under the rulership of the Lord. Because guess what? We are going to be the ones that possess it. We're going to actually give this earth peace along with his people. It says, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So we're going to wipe the Lord is going to wipe all this clean and actually set everything right. Because our oppressors need to be put down. Remember, this is only happening as our punishment. But Esau is going to get paid back for all this stuff. They may have the cities or the lands in the world, but they don't possess it. That's the big difference. The Lord told us to prepare slaughter, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Because guess what? That was a movie I seen when I was a child. I'm pretty sure I brought this up a couple times, where there was, I think this was either on Earth or they had the movie on, as far as on Mars, where they had an entire world or the entire cities, actually it was everywhere as far as I remember, filled, covered with silver and silver. Yeah, the entire world was covered in silver. All the cities was filled with silver. And the funny part is, there was no trees in that movie. And they said they cut down all the trees and had to build a oxygen dome around the entire planet. And you had to wear a mask or at least some type of sensor on you for a certain amount of time to fully get oxygen. You mean to tell me you would want to live like that? To have no trees, everything covered in silver. You had to have, and funny enough is, everybody had the MOTB in that movie. Because if you didn't have one, which was the main protagonist, I think, you was getting hunted down. So you had to try to mingle in with the people so you didn't have to get caught because they still had currency. So, but that MOTB in that movie was a prime detector to know that you was in the link with that with the program. So this is what they plan on doing. Even though in the future they'd be like, you ain't going to be able to buy, sell, trade, or even get inside your own car or house if you don't have this MOTB. So that's going to be the big difference. That's why I specifically wanted to go into this clip. Well, just to show it that this is all governmental distraction. Meanwhile, they've been working on their plans. So when this society shuts down, or sorry, when they start hampering down on the internet, when that comes down, they'd be like, "Oh, you wanna go on your Facebook? Oh, you gotta have the MOTB. Twitter, same thing. Instagram, same thing. YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, your channels for TV, same thing." They're gonna start heavily pushing that. So while the people are not aware, again, this is why we're out here, to wake up the hopeful elect, number one, because we ain't worried about these people, but to just show how crazy things are getting, you I don't even need to show it because I hear everybody talk about it, how 2019 was different compared to now. Even last year was different compared to now. But every year it just kept getting worse and worse. Look back 10 years ago, it was a hell of a lot better than it was today. But that's the kicker of all this. But that's pretty much all I wanted to go into with that. So, little one, this is edifying, and with that, shalom.